YouTube? I know it's been a minute since I've come to you guys, talked to you about anything, but 2020 has been a year that I wish had never happened. There's so much going on, and I was hoping that 2020, would be a year of reflection. And it could very well be a year of reflection for someone because someone definitely needs to reflect on themselves, and hopefully that'll make them think more about their actions. But in regards to this particular video, the the reaction to the Black Lives Matter movement is just one that is so baffling. It really is just so baffling because there's always someone who wants to say all lives matter. Now, whenever there is a particular group that wants to, draw a particular level of attention to their culture, they're not saying that their culture is better. It's the equivalent of when I was in college at Appalachian State University. There was a black student union, an Asian student union, and several others. I'm not really sure. I'm not going to go through the particulars. But there was a student union for different cultures. And it wasn't that they were segregating themselves. It wasn't that they were saying, hey, we're better than you. They were just uniting so that they could unify and better themselves in their community, or say, hey, you know what, we have this kinship that we're going to foster and appreciate. Or a different way of showing how this goes, just like if someone comes up with a particular group like PETA, for instance, animal activist group, they're there specifically to say, hey, be careful about how you treat animals because, they have feelings too. Animal cruelty is a real thing and all that kind of stuff. They're not saying that animals are better than us, even though cats do act like they are better than everyone and everything else. But that's a whole nother topic for another video. But again, they're not necessarily saying, oh, our pets are more important than you or anything else like that. That's not the point of the organization. The point of the organization is to draw awareness to animals and their well-being, just like the Black Lives Matter movement is to draw awareness to a particular event that's happening in the black community that we want to make others aware of. We want to actually say, hey, you know what? There's a social injustice that is happening, and we want to make sure that people are aware of this so that something can be done. me as a black young individual, granted I'm 36 years young, I don't want to have to worry about if I'm going to make it home at night. I don't want to have to worry about being racially profiled. I have worked long and hard for everything that I have obtained in life. Everything in life has not come easy for me. In fact, that I can't really think of anything in life that has come for easy for me. I don't want that to be taken. I don't want my accomplishment to be devalued because someone doesn't thinks less of me because of my race or anything else for that particular matter. Because of the color of my skin, my hairstyle that I choose to wear. It worries me when people automatically say, hey, you sound a certain way. You don't sound the way you look, or anything else. I already understand this. I have a very unusual voice that I'm very well aware of. It doesn't necessarily suit what I look like. Which may be one reason why no one really messes with me to the extent of being prosecuted in any particular way. But I still don't want to be judged by the color of my skin or any part of my appearance for that matter. Unless, of course, it's a hygiene thing. Now, if it's a hygiene thing, yeah, completely understandable. If I come into a scene looking bummy, raggedy, filthy, ratchet, and whatever, I kind of did that to myself. But if I, even if I come in wearing nothing but sweats and a t-shirt, but I'm nicely well put together in my sweats and t-shirt, I don't believe I should be judged any differently than any other race on this planet that enters that same scene in sweats and a t-shirt. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't have to worry about if I did have kids, which I do want. If I did have kids, I don't want to have to worry about if they're going to be prosecuted for looking or acting a different way. I don't want my mother to have to worry about me for that reason. The idea of my mother having to be concerned for my safety because she thinks I might get shot by a policeman or racially profiled just by anyone for that matter, not just policemen. I'm not saying this just for in regards to the police brutality, but of course current events have been specifically around police brutality. But I don't want my mother to have to worry about me because a situation didn't work out the way it should have just because I was pulled out of a lineup and treated differently, poorly, for the color of my skin, the way I choose to wear my hair. And because I'm originally from the country, if I decide to let that show and I may talk a little country or sound a little bit differently than what I should look like. It's not fair to me or anyone who looks like me to have to live in fear because of the way we look. It's not right for someone, me or someone who looks like me, to have to dumb myself down to fit in. It's not right for me or anyone who looks like me to have to act white. I really want anyone who watches this to really take note to how unfair it truly is for me or someone like me who looks like me, who has done nothing, who has tried their best every day of their life to be a role model citizen, to be the shining example. And I get it. I'm not perfect. I'm not sitting here saying that I'm some kind of perfect person. I have my faults. I I have my issues. I make my mistakes. But again, it's not fair for me or someone like me who looks like me. I emphasize that again. Me or someone who looks like me to have to constantly look over my shoulder and be paranoid that someone may treat me differently just because of the way I look, may talk to me differently just because of the way I look. It's not fair. I'm gonna leave off with this particular video because I don't want to get too long with it and too preachy, as I probably already have. But I want to hope and pray that anyone who sees this, you share this video, and hopefully the person who needs to see this will see it. If you are one of the, I don't want to call out anyone specifically, but, well, let me say it like this. I'm not necessarily doing this to call anybody specifically out, but if you feel like you're being called out, then guess what? That's not my problem. However, if by some reason you find this video and you watch it in its entirety and you feel like you feel guilty for any reason, then maybe you need to reevaluate how you act, think, and feel about other people. Because it's time for change. And at the end of the day, at the end of the day, the one true judge is going to come down and he's going to make everyone pay for what it is they have done. Remember, it's not your responsibility to treat anyone any differently than you would want to be treated. Just remember that there is someone who's looking down on you at all times and taking note, because one day you will have to answer for the injustices that you cause, for the ignorance of treating someone differently because of the way they look. Just remember that the next time you decide to do something that you know isn't right. Because at the end of the day, you should know that if this is causing this much outrage amongst not only the actual targets of your ignorance, then there can't be anything right about what you're doing. Again, I don't want to get too long-winded, but just make sure you think before you act. Think before you speak. And know that there's always somebody watching. But I'm probably rambling at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and get off the video, and hopefully somebody learns from this. All right.